Ever crave that game that just pulls you in and won't let go, making you lose track of time? Some single-player legends do just that. And today we've got 15 of them, still absolutely unmissable in 2025. Tomb Raider 2013. The crucible of survival throws you headfirst into Lara Croft's earliest, most grueling ordeal. The game wastes no time, dropping you into the chaos of a shipwreck on the mysterious island of Yamatai. Before you can catch your breath, you're scrambling through collapsing caves, narrowly escaping an avalanche, and learning that every step forward could be your last. The island itself feels alive and hostile, with every environment designed to test Lara's limits and force quick thinking. Lara's growth isn't just a story beat, it's something you feel in every mechanic. The skill progression system lets you unlock new abilities as she gains experience, while you scavenge for resources and craft weapons to survive. Each risky climb, every carefully aimed arrow, and each desperate melee struggle with an enemy shows her increasing resilience. The physics-based traversal makes every ledge and jump tense, reinforcing her vulnerability. Quick-time events add to the sense of danger, with split-second decisions that can mean life or death for Lara. What stands out is how the narrative and gameplay work together, making each moment of survival feel earned. The emotional impact lingers, and Lara's transformation stays convincing because you're guiding her through every setback and victory. It's a raw, grounded approach to adventure that sets a high bar for cinematic action. Switching gears from grounded survival to pure spectacle, Uncharted 2, Among Thieves stands out as the game that made cinematic action feel playable. Could you actually outrun a derailing train, leap across collapsing rooftops, or survive a city falling apart around you? Uncharted 2 puts you right in the middle of these moments, sending Nathan Drake on a globe-spanning chase that never lets up. From war-torn streets in Nepal to the iconic train sequence where the wreck dangles precariously from a snowy cliff, every set piece is designed to keep you on edge. It blends player control with blockbuster set pieces, like that unforgettable train escape. Even as buildings collapse or the world explodes into chaos, you're still guiding Drake, aiming, climbing, and making split-second decisions. The balance between scripted spectacle and direct player input is what makes each encounter feel so immediate. Whether you're navigating gunfights, solving environmental puzzles, or bantering with allies, the transitions are smooth and keep the momentum high. The villain, Lazarevich, adds real weight to the stakes, pushing Drake into ever more desperate situations. Looking back from 2025, the dynamic design of these moments still impresses. Uncharted 2's influence is everywhere, but few games have matched its sense of being right in the action. And after all that chaos, sometimes you want a different kind of freedom, the kind that comes from setting your own course and chasing the horizon. Assassin's Creed Black Flag taps into open-sea freedom like nothing else. Here, you step into the boots of Edward Kenway, a pirate first, assassin second, and take command of the Jackdaw. The Caribbean isn't just a backdrop, it's a sprawling playground where every island, cove, and fort offers something new to discover. Black Flag stands out for how much independence it gives you. You chart your own course, hunt for treasure, upgrade your ship's arsenal, and engage in naval battles that feel weighty and tense. The period-authentic soundtrack, especially the sea shanties sung by your crew, pulls you into the pirate world and makes even quiet moments at sea memorable. The game's world is packed with opportunities for adventure. One minute you might be battling a legendary ship twice your size, the next you're harpooning sharks or raiding a heavily guarded fort. These dynamic events break up the main story and let you create moments that feel personal and unscripted. Edward's journey from self-interested rogue to reluctant member of the Assassin Order adds another layer, but it's the combination of open-world exploration and naval combat that keeps Black Flag so replayable. Not every game is about following rules or sticking to the shadows. Sometimes it's about unleashing chaos and seeing just how far your power can go. Prototype. The unbridled destructive fantasy drops you into a city on the brink, where you wake as Alex Mercer, infected and transformed into a living biological weapon. Right away, the game hands you abilities that feel almost limitless. You morph your arms into blades, whips, or shields, sprint up skyscrapers, and glide across rooftops with ease. New York City becomes your playground, but it's far from empty. The military constantly hunts you, deploying tanks and helicopters to contain the outbreak, while infected creatures swarm the streets and turn every block into a battlefield. Mercer, quote, "S powers encourage constant experimentation. You can tear through squads of soldiers, send vehicles flying, or leap from building to building with barely a pause. The city responds to your actions, with enemy AI adapting and military units escalating their tactics as you wreak havoc. The consume ability stands out, not only letting you regain health but also absorb memories, skills, and even appearances from your targets. This mechanic adds strategy, whether you're disguising yourself to infiltrate bases or piecing together Mercer's mysterious past. Prototype's open-world chaos and sense of raw power remain unmatched, even in 2025. It's a game that lets you push boundaries, and it's a reminder that sometimes the most compelling stories come from those who work in the shadows, using intellect as much as force. Batman Arkham Asylum stands out for how it transforms detective work into the heart of superhero gameplay. Trapped inside the asylum with the Joker setting traps at every turn, you rely on more than just combat and gadgets. The game pushes you to track down Joker's toxin plans by analyzing crime scenes and following trails only visible through detective mode. This visor doesn't just highlight clues, it lets you piece together events, plan silent takedowns, and stay one step ahead of the chaos unfolding around you. The asylum is more than a backdrop. Its maze-like corridors and hidden rooms challenge you to stay alert. You never know when a sudden Joker ambush will turn a quiet hallway into a fight for survival, keeping the tension high and making every advance feel earned. Hundreds of Riddler challenges are scattered throughout, rewarding sharp eyes and encouraging you to explore every shadowy corner. Arkham Asylum's careful blend of methodical investigation, environmental puzzles, and tense stealth moments still feels fresh, even in 2025. The atmosphere is thick with unease, and the sense of being outnumbered but never outsmarted makes every victory satisfying. Not every legendary game is about careful planning, though some are about unleashing raw power and facing opponents on a scale that feels almost mythic. God of War 3 throws you into Kratos' assault on Olympus, where vengeance has been building over 2 entire games and now erupts in a final reckoning. The story's emotional weight comes from years of betrayal and loss, pushing Kratos to take on the gods themselves in a bid for retribution. Every step forward means tearing through a mythic landscape that's constantly shifting and collapsing under the scale of divine conflict. From ripping off Poseidon's head to scaling Gaia as she moves, every encounter feels world-shaking. The boss battles stand out not just for their size, but for how involved you are in dismantling these gods, like the brutal first-person finish against Poseidon, or the relentless arena fight with Hercules. The Blades of Exile and a range of magical weapons keep combat direct and satisfying, with each new ability giving you more ways to break through the gods' defenses. The game's use of camera angles and quick-time events brings these mythological showdowns to life, making you feel the enormity of every fight. Facing Kronos, where the battlefield is the Titan's own body, or watching Olympus fracture beneath your feet, you're always at the center of the spectacle. Even in 2025, God of War 3 stands as a benchmark for epic action and emotional payoff, showing how a game can deliver both scale and story in equal measure. But not every unforgettable game is about brute force or towering enemies. Sometimes it's about the satisfaction of solving a puzzle that seems impossible until you find just the right way to think it through. Portal 2 proves puzzles can headline an epic. Valve takes the foundation of the original and builds it into a series of test chambers that demand both spatial reasoning and quick adaptation. The game introduces new mechanics like excursion funnels and property-altering gels at a steady pace, letting you experiment and learn before layering these elements together for more complex challenges. Each chamber feels like a fresh problem to solve, and the satisfaction comes not just from finding the answer, but from understanding how each tool interacts with the environment. The difficulty curve is carefully tuned. You might start by learning how to redirect a laser with a cube, but before long you're using portals to combine multiple mechanics in ways that force you to rethink your approach. The game rarely spells things out, instead nudging you toward discovery and rewarding creative solutions. And its co-op campaign doubles the challenge, demanding perfect teamwork to solve mirrored chambers that require real communication and coordination. Portal 2's minimalist visuals keep your focus on the puzzles, while the sharp writing from GLaDOS and Wheatley adds personality without distracting from the cerebral gameplay. Even years later, it stands out for how it respects your intelligence and makes each solved puzzle feel earned. Some games challenge your mind, others put you in situations where every move could be a matter of survival. Sleeping Dogs, navigating Hong Kong's undercover peril, puts you in the conflicted shoes of Wei Shen, an undercover cop working his way into the sun on Yi Triad. The game wastes no time showing the strain of living between two worlds. Wei's story is shaped by the constant pressure to balance loyalty to the police with the unforgiving demands of the criminal underworld, and every action you take feeds into this tension. Missions tilt. Wei's skills toward police or triads, forcing hard choices with real consequences. Help the cops too much, and your cover slips, lean into triad life, and your sense of duty erodes. This push and pull isn't just in the story, it's built into every mission, every upgrade, and every relationship. The game's martial arts combat stands out, letting you chain together punches, counters, and brutal environmental takedowns. Ever punch an opponent through a meat hook? Sleeping Dogs lets you do just that, making fights feel immediate and dangerous. Gunfights and car chases add to the intensity, but it's the hand-to-hand brawls that define the experience. Hong Kong itself is a living, detailed backdrop, from crowded markets to hidden alleys, always reminding you of what's at stake. The choices you make ripple through the city, shaping Wei's fate and the story's direction. It's a world where every decision leaves its mark, and the consequences of loyalty and betrayal linger long after the credits roll. Red Dead Redemption transcends Western cliches with John Marston's fight for redemption. Set at a time when the American frontier is vanishing, the game follows Marston, a former outlaw forced by federal agents to hunt down his old gang. His family's safety hangs in the balance, pulling him back into a world he hoped to leave behind. The story's strength lies in Marston's internal struggle. He wants to escape his violent past, but the changing West and his own history won't let him go. The narrative stands out for its complex cast. Each character Marston meets reflects the harsh realities and fading legends of the era, adding weight to his journey. Themes of redemption, the relentless spread of civilization, and the impossibility of outrunning one's past drive every decision he makes. These ideas are never heavy-handed. Instead, they emerge through quiet conversations, tense standoffs, and moments of uneasy peace. The game's most iconic scenes, like crossing into Mexico for the first time as Far Away plays, stay with you long after. From the deserts of New Austin to West Elizabeth's mountains, emergent events keep each ride unpredictable. Shootouts, duels, and horseback chases all feel grounded in a world that's both beautiful and unforgiving. Red Dead Redemption's story remains powerful in 2025, not just for its scale, but for how it captures the sense of an era slipping away. Some games build their legacy on narrative weight, while others focus on the pure thrill of movement, where mastering your own momentum becomes the ultimate challenge. Mirror's Edge makes running the real reward, turning urban rooftops into a test of skill and nerve. Stepping into the shoes of Faith Connors, you move through a clean, futuristic city where vaulting, wall running, and leaping form a continuous flow of parkour. The focus isn't on fighting. Most encounters push you to keep your speed, using agility to outmaneuver threats rather than confront them head-on. As you push for perfect momentum, you also start to uncover a deeper conspiracy threaded through Faith's world, giving each mission a sense of urgency beyond just reaching the next rooftop. The first-person perspective is central here, putting every jump, slide, and landing right in front of you. Heights feel dizzying, and every successful chain of moves is a small, earned victory. The minimalist art style strips away distractions, using bold color to highlight paths and interactive elements, so your attention stays on the rhythm of movement. Environmental cues subtly guide you, encouraging route planning and quick decision-making as you look for the fastest, safest way forward. Mirror quote, Edge still stands out in 2025 for how it captures the thrill of mastering speed and flow. It's a game about precision and momentum, where each run feels different and every risk is felt in real time. Sometimes, though, the challenge isn't in the route ahead, but in surviving whatever chaos the world throws at you next. Left 4 Dead 2. The unpredictable symphony of survival stands out for how it keeps every session fresh and tense. At the center is the AI director, an unseen force that shapes each run on the fly. It monitors how well your group is doing, then adjusts the placement of weapons, health kits, and ammunition, making you rethink your strategy every time. One moment you're pushing through a quiet corridor, and the next a tank bursts onto the scene, forcing a desperate scramble as you try to keep your team alive. No two runs ever play out the same. The AI director doesn't just control the flow of zombies, it times horde attacks, drops special infected into the worst possible spots, and sometimes leaves you just enough resources to scrape by. That unpredictability leads to stories you remember, barely slipping past a witch in a darkened alley, or making a last-second escape after a smoker drags a teammate into chaos. The special infected themselves, like the Boomer, Spitter, and Hunter, each bring unique threats that demand constant communication and teamwork, because one mistake can turn a close call into disaster. Left 4 Dead 2's dynamic structure means every match is a new challenge, especially with friends. The tension, the near misses, and the moments where everything goes wrong are what make it so memorable. Some games use unpredictable systems to keep you on edge, while others blur the line between reality and fiction, pulling you into a story where nothing is quite as it seems. Alan Wake, weaving nightmares into reality, stands out for how it makes storytelling part of the threat. You play as Alan Wake, a novelist searching for his missing wife in the uneasy town of Bright Falls. The atmosphere is thick with dread. Bright Falls' dense pines and dark lodges amplify every shadowy scare, and the sense of isolation never quite lets up. As you explore, shadowy enemies known as the Taken close in, and your best defense is light. Flashlights, flares, and spotlights become essential tools, weakening the darkness before you can finish the fight with more conventional weapons. The game unfolds in TV-style episodes with previously on Alan Wake recaps, building suspense and giving each chapter a clear sense of momentum. A clever twist is the discovery of manuscript pages that predict events, blurring fiction and reality. These pages, written by Alan, often foreshadow dangers or reveal backstory, making you question what's real and what's imagined. This layer of meta-narrative keeps tension high, as you're never sure if you're following a script or writing your own fate. Alan Wake's blend of psychological horror, environmental storytelling, and unique light-based combat still feels fresh in 2025. It's a reminder that sometimes the most memorable games are the ones that force you to think carefully about every step, every resource, and every decision, especially when the world around you is full of danger and uncertainty. Dishonored, the art of creative assassination puts you in control of Corvo Attano, a betrayed royal protector navigating the plague-ridden streets of Dunwall. Here, supernatural powers like Blink, Possess, and Bend Time let you ghost past guards or crush them outright. With a blade in one hand and gadgets like spring razors or a crossbow in the other, Corvo's toolkit opens up a huge range of possibilities. The city's design rewards thinking beyond the obvious. Maybe you'll use Blink to reach a rooftop, possess a rat to slip through a drain, or even take over a fish and swim unseen through an underwater pipe. Every mission is a layered puzzle, with multiple entry points and countless ways to reach your target. The game never pushes you toward one style. Instead, it adapts to whether you move like a shadow, leave chaos in your wake, or try a mix of both. The world reacts to your choices, changing enemy patrols and even the story's outcome based on how you play. That freedom to experiment using magic, gadgets, and creative routes makes every run feel different. Multiple endings based on your choices mean Dishonored stays fresh every playthrough. It's a rare example of a game that lets you solve problems your own way, rewarding creativity at every turn. Some games, though, take a different approach, blending art and movement to create a world that feels like a living painting. Prince of Persia 2008 feels like moving through a painting, with its vibrant cel-shaded visuals setting every scene apart from the usual. The world looks handcrafted, each environment bursting with color and detail that makes the landscapes memorable long after you've put down the controller. Every area you explore feels distinct, from bright courtyards to corrupted ruins, and the art style gives the whole journey a sense of wonder. Movement is at the heart of the experience. Seamless wall runs and leaps aided by Alika's magic keep you moving without fail states. Platforming flows from one acrobatic maneuver to the next, wall running, swinging, and climbing, while Alika's presence means you never fall to your doom. She's more than just a helper. She's woven into every part of the adventure, assisting in traversal, stepping in during cinematic duels, and always pulling you back from the brink. The partnership with Alika changes over time, and the growing trust and tension between her and the prince drive the story forward, especially as their choices shape the fate of their world. By the time you reach the finale, it's that bond and the sacrifices it demands that lingers. Prince of Persia 2008 stands out for how it ties art, movement, and emotion together, making each step through its world feel meaningful. Some journeys are defined by beauty and trust, others test how far you'll go when everything familiar falls away. Few villains bite as hard as Vaz Montenegro. His monologues on insanity define Far Cry 3 and set the tone for everything that follows. The game throws you into the chaos of the Rook Islands, where Jason Brody, once a stranded tourist, is forced to adapt or die. Vaz isn't just an antagonist, he dominates every scene with unpredictable behavior and a presence that constantly keeps you off balance. His twisted worldview and chilling speeches push Jason into situations that blur the line between survival and savagery, challenging both his sanity and your own comfort with the violence unfolding around you. As Jason's journey progresses, his Rakiat tattoos mark his transformation from outsider to hardened warrior. The island itself becomes a living sandbox, hunt wildlife, craft upgrades, and liberate outposts as pirate factions fight for control. Open-world missions and emergent chaos mean no two play sessions feel the same, and every choice nudges Jason further from who he once was. The thrill of the hunt, the tension of stealth, and the satisfaction of outsmarting enemies all build into a narrative about moral decay and the cost of power. Far Cry 3's blend of a magnetic villain, a story of descent, and dynamic gameplay is why diving back into its unpredictable world is still so rewarding. Some games just don't lose their edge, even years later. So, that's our look at these 15 single-player games. They really show how solid game design and interesting stories don't get old. Which ones are you thinking of playing again, or maybe trying out for the very first time? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you liked this look back, please like the video and subscribe for more. Hit notifications so you won't miss the next one. Thanks for watching. If any of these games interest you, further details are in the description.